Welcome back, everyone, to Rob's Daily Classics. Today's top pick is a 1985 Monte Carlo SS. Anything that says Chevrolet with a rear-wheel drive configuration gets my attention. Let's go check this car out. Found this car a little while ago on Craigslist. It's a nice one. You see these cars quite often. He's asking a boatload of money for the car, so we're going to disregard his price and just talk about the car, and then we'll attack the price at the end. But the 1985 Monte Carlo was part of the fourth generation. It ran from 1981 to 1988. And it was built off the G-body from 1982 to 88. Basically, front engine, rear wheel drive. It's what Chevrolet is all about, right, folks? It was shared with the Cutlass Supreme, the Pontiac Grand Prix, and the Buick Regal. And many people at the time thought that the Chevrolet rendition was the most beautiful as far as design goes. The other cars were a little more squared off. So this very near mint condition SS in Massachusetts is a nice one. And in 1983, the car was kind of reintroduced, changed the styling around a little bit. They had this European style body color coating, where the car's chrome kind of disappeared a little bit because that was the look. That monochrome look was coming from Mercedes-Benz and all that from Europe. It had a new front end, which was much more aerodynamic, purposely kind of designed, I think, for NASCAR, because this car was a very, very famous campaigned car with NASCAR, especially in 85. So it had a new front end, a rear spoiler, which was kind of cool, and it had F41 suspension package, which was a thicker sway bars and things like that. For 1985, a 4-speed automatic transmission became available, and they had a 3.73 sport axle, a little higher axle for get up and go. The 305 HO high output V8, it's 5 liters, by the way. It was 180 horsepower at the time, so not bad. It's, you got to remember, this is 1985. We just had another gas crisis in 79, and, people were depressed about performance, and insurance rates were going up, and it's net horsepower, not gross horsepower. So I think anything that's Chevrolet with a front engine, rear wheel drive configuration in 2 doors has a lot of potential as a collector car, even in the years go ahead as they click on and all. So this car, basically, looking at this car in detail, it looks to be a very original looking car. Looks like he took care of it. That's actually the original paint, that orange peel paint that you see on the sill. That's what they did. They roughed up the sill. They put a thicker coating of paint on the sill to reduce chances of rocks getting up there and things like that. A nicely styled rear spoiler, very clean looking. And again, no chrome, so it's monochromatic look. Has a nice blend to it. It's fairly aerodynamic. It doesn't have T-tops. I think that was an option, and I'm a big fan with older cars without T-tops, because 99% of the time people don't use T-tops anyway. So, T-tops and sunroofs for me are, I don't know if that's a bumper scrape back there, or is it just the dirt on the car. But the car looks to be in decent shape, above decent shape. I mean, it looks to be in exceptional condition. Hoping that the paint is all original. It looks like it is. All the photos that he's giving us here looks like the original paint. There's the engine bay. The engine bay looks amazingly clean. Even if he detailed this engine bay, you can't detail certain areas. So I'm thinking this car has been really cherried all these years, and I don't see any telltale signs of rust anywhere, where the master brake cylinder is, and also where it looks like that was changed recently. The diaphragm has no rust on it. I'm not seeing any rust really anywhere here. A little surface rust on the suspension components, which is common. But it's nice to see something that's really original like this. I mean, that's a turn on for me when I look to buy cars, right? Originality, condition, and price. Those are the 3 big criterias. Some little rust here where the battery is connected and all that, which is kind of common. Because this car is a New England car, you definitely want to get underneath it to make sure that it's not rusted through anywhere. But I'm thinking this car has had a pampered life. Thank you for no smoking sign in the center console. So the guy was meticulous. It says, let's read the description on the car. It says, one family-owned car that has 71,000 original miles. The exterior is outstanding. Interior is mint. The color combination is nice. They had a couple colors that year for the Monte Carlo, so I think this is one of the nicer colors in the gray and the black and things like that. It's been babied its whole life. Yep, I agree. It looks that way. So overall, the car's really a good-looking car. I like the style, color interior as well. So the seats look nice. Looks like he's got a real shop, this guy. So, again, if he has a shop, hopefully he has a lift and you can look at it under a lift and all that. There's a lift right there so you can get a chance to see the car underneath. But a good-looking car. So where are we going with this thing? Well, it's on the price side. Bring a Trailer has these cars. Here's one that was sold in December 24 for $13,350. One family owned. I thought this was the same car, but it's not because it's got a different color interior than the feature car. This car had 29,000 miles shown, whatever that means. Sometimes they write shown would Bring a Trailer. Is it original mileage? I wish Bring a Trailer would expand a little bit on the mileage on the cars. When they have cars, they always say that's the mileage shown, and they'll say the color of the car is shown to be black, but they don't go expand on was it repainted, and anyway, a little pet peeve with Bring a Trailer at times. So here's one so this car sold for $13,350, which appears to be a bargain today. That's about where the price is on this one. And then when you look at other cars in the same price range, you'll see cars that are being sold. Here's one with 3,500 miles for $22,500. Here's one with 1,200 miles that sold for $34,400. So it tells me that the styling of the car can command a better, increasing prices. $22,500 in the summer of 2025. It almost appears that he's not too far off of where he can probably get for this car. I'm thinking he can probably command $18,000 for this car. For the right buyer, for the right person that's hunting this thing down. But you'd have to go there, look at the car, and talk to this person a couple of times and show them some facts. Show him Bring a Trailer where the prices aren't commanding this much money for a 71,000-mile car. He won't care because he has this car and you don't. And unless he's looking to sell these cars off in a quick way, maybe he'll make a counter with you and be reasonable. But what happens a lot of times in this business we're in, the folks that own these cars are either retired or they have a net worth and they have no sense of urgency to sell their cars. It's not like when you were 21 years old, 30 years old, and you needed to sell a car to get something else. Once you retire, these people have this sitting on their 401k, and they're going to try to get as much as they can. But the idea is to make a relationship with the person, tell them that you're sincerely interested in the car, and then see where that takes you. So a nice one. This car was campaigned a lot in NASCAR back in those days. It was popular with Dale Earnhardt, Harry Gant, and Bobby Allison, just to name a few. I was fortunate enough to really get involved in NASCAR as a kid back then, as a younger guy anyway. My uncle actually was the head person for U.S. Tobacco back in the 80s. And my Uncle Lou, that's his logos. He did the Skull Bandit logo. He was the director of design and marketing for U.S. Tobacco up in Greenwich, Connecticut. And Harry Gant was their driver. And that's my uncle's logos that he did back in those days. And I had a chance to be in the pits and watch these cars come in back in. There was no security back then, so I was hanging with my uncle at NASCAR tracks as a kid. And I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun. So every time I see this Monte Carlo, even in its standard trim, it always reminds me of him. And it's not $22,500 reminds me of him. I still want to get a good deal on this car that he's looking to sell. But it's a nice looking car. Anything Chevrolet, 2 doors, front engine, rear wheel drive. They did build a lot of these cars, so they are out there. But if you're interested in this particular car, you're going to have to finesse your way with the seller and try to get him to be more reasonable based on facts, based on what you see on Bring a Trailer, which traditionally is the most highest prices that you're going to spend on a car, right? So you never know. He might listen to an enthusiast and he might be entertained for a lower price on this car. If you can buy it for $17,000, in that type of price range, I don't think you'll lose money with this one. So yeah, front engine, rear wheel drive Chevrolet with 2 doors. go get it. It's on Bring It. I'm sorry, this is on Craigslist in Massachusetts. So thanks very much for joining us here. If you're not a subscriber to Daily Classics, please hit that subscribe button and join up. Give a like if you like this video. We appreciate that. And of course, as we always say, please share this video with friends that love cars, and that's how we grow. This is Rob, and this is our car today, a beautiful 1985 Monte Carlo SS with a high output 305 cubic inch engine. I believe it had about 175, 180 horsepower back in those days. So go check it out. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.